So as a whole, I think my opinion on social media is pretty good.
I think that social media is really powerful and it's really important because it's influencing social direction. It's influencing the way that individuals are interacting within society with each other, and it's influencing what we place importance on.
When I think about social media, I think connection.
Overall, social media is like a really good thing to have because it allows people to express themselves in any way, shape or form.
I think social media as a whole is abysmal, and this is coming from a person who uses it constantly. Like, I can't even begin to explain my screen time. I hate social media and I hate how addicted to social media I am.
It's a weird subject because like it can do a lot of good, but it also does a lot of bad. My opinion is I don't really like it. I only really use it to look at memes. That's literally it, and occasionally speak to people, but I know a lot of people have bad opinions about it.
My opinion on social media as a whole is that it has the potential to be like really positive and like useful for everyone that's involved with it. However, that's only the potential.
I think social media as a whole is a good thing, but it definitely has some really bad side effects.
With regards to the pros and cons of social media, it's very easy for people to focus on the cons, but there are a lot of pros.
It's beneficial to us because we connect in different ways that I suppose the older generation wouldn't understand.
You know, being able to just speak to someone that you wouldn't usually speak to halfway across the globe, I think is such an amazing thing that we really do take for granted.
People can make businesses, like I know small businesses that have, because of social media, have turned into like massive businesses and they're like succeeding really, really well.
Generally just, you could have a good time on there, to be fair, you know, just look at memes, you know, that's all I do. I don't really know what you do on social media.
I think I've spent a lot of time on social media, especially this year, because it's helped me feel connected when I can't physically connect.
I think some of the cons can be the scrounging for likes, that need for instant gratification.
I think there's so many more negatives to social media than positives, especially I'm talking about social media now, where it so relies heavily on Photoshop and making people just feel bad about themselves because they don't look like what they're seeing on the screen. And I know people can say like, oh, it's really easy to just unfollow all these people, but it's everywhere. People want to show like the best of themselves because the other people on the app look so amazing that they feel like they need to alter themselves to match this standard that doesn't exist.
I think social media is a bit overrated. It's definitely, I don't understand it, right? And I know that's not a reason to just not like it, but I think it always, people obviously portray the best versions of themselves through social media, and because of that, people who don't understand that it's all filtered and like filtered to the point where every bad thing is just sieved out.
I think to manage it can be quite overwhelming, having so many applications and almost so many different commitments.
I think as well with the algorithms that are used on social media platforms, I think they draw young people in.
And I think there's a lot of drama as well. So there's a lot of like negative energy surrounding social media.
There's definitely an expectation to be perfect on social media. So you've got to have the right amount of likes, the right amount of followers, and you've got to be perfect on there when obviously that's not the case. No one's perfect. But people do create a wall and a window of this perfection. And I think it is something that obviously people don't necessarily do to spite people, but they're just doing it because they want to. And it can make them happy, which is the best part.
And because social media gives you loads of information like all at once, it's really difficult to process it all.
You know, addiction is terrible with social media. I mean, like from personal experience, I'm 100% addicted to my phone and addicted to social media. Like, I probably couldn't go a day without picking it up once.
One of the most common things I've found, and that probably I know of, is that people compare themselves on social media, which is never a good thing. And I think Personally, I do compare myself to people, even if it's just someone that I know or someone that I'm close to. I compare myself to everyone, which isn't great, and it does affect me. But the worst thing about it is that if I'm sad about it, I'll turn my phone off for about 5 minutes, and then next thing you know, I'll be back on social media, which makes it even worse. And it's like this ongoing cycle of, okay, going on social media, but it's not good for me. It's not. Even if it's on any social platform, if it's TikTok or Instagram, Snapchat, or just on the internet in general, it's so bad. And I know full well that a lot of people can get caught up in that cycle of just going on social media again and again and again. And it's not great, but it is a habit that is so hard to break, because if you take your phone away completely, that's just going to make you want it even more. And the temptation's going to be there to keep going and keep scrolling.
Spending too much time on social media can really affect your view on life, and how, you know, it's so concentrated of what is shown, whereas in the real world, nothing's really like that.
I've come to the realisation that social media has such negative effects on the people that use it.
Despite my belief that overall social media is a negative thing, I do think that each individual social media application does have its benefits.
See, I think, obviously I can't talk too much about the mental health side of social media because I don't have it, but I actively chose not to have it, even when there was a lot of people pressuring me to, like in school, because it was like the popular thing to have it.
My mental health, not really. I don't care what people think about me.
In my opinion, social media can be both good and bad for your mental health. For example, I like to share my art on social media, and receiving feedback and comments from other people encourages me to continue creating and sharing, and knowing that other people enjoy what I create makes me happy.
In my personal experience in the past, social media has affected my mental health, particularly with the idea of beauty standards.
I think that picking what pages and people you follow really carefully can be beneficial for your mental health, like creators who are making music or art that you enjoy, or news sources that only give the facts and maybe some resources, so you aren't constantly doom scrolling through bad news with nothing that you can actually do about it.
It's kind of just an addiction that I feel the constant need to check to see what's happening. Yeah, it affects my mental health in a bad way, 100%. Even though there are positives, I think there's way too many negatives to make it even worthwhile.